Welcome guys to the next episode of United Transfer Talk, and in this one I have a 5-story bumper packed and compact show for you today. So let's get on with it now. So the first story I'm going to talk about is to do with Victor Wanyama. I'm sorry about the pronunciation, but he's a midfielder, plays for Celtic, 21-year-old Kenyan, very tall, very powerfully built, and he is in that kind of midfield enforcer role where a lot of you guys has been asking for a defensive minded midfielder, where basically his job is very much like Cheick at Newcastle, where he just sits in front of the defense basically and basically put out any fire that is proposed from the attacking team. And his job is very simple, but it's going to be very effective within any footballing side, because if you look at the pioneering player of that system, it was Claude Makelele at Chelsea, and he made that position all by himself. And they went on to be very successful during the Mourinho era with that tactic, with Claude Makelele just sitting in front of the back four and basically just protecting them throughout the game and letting all the attacking minded players not to worry so much and wasting their energy tracking back and spending their energy more efficiently, using it in the right spaces. So it worked very well during the Mourinho era, and at United, Sir Alex has always come out saying that we don't need a defensive midfielder of the sort, because he would like his midfielders to be attacking and going backwards as well. But a lot of you guys has been saying this is kind of like an exploit that is available to other teams, because once they got through Michael Carrick and Paul's goals, it's very bare at the back. And although Michael Carrick has switched to that position, he's not as physically as strong as some other players. Again, just comparing to a player like Cheick or Alex Song. So that is kind of like the player that a lot of you guys has been asking for, a box-to-box midfielder, but also a very defensive-minded midfield player. And we've been linked with Wanyama, and he could available for around 10-15 million pounds. He's not, again, only 21, so has a big future in front of him. Has a bit of experience within SPL. It's not the best league in the world, but it's probably quite similar towards the Premier League, just due to the physical nature of it. So in that regard, he would be very suitable for our needs and would perhaps fit straight in. And again, 21, very good within our transfer policy, and that could be a possibility. It's been saying that we and Arsenal are the favourites right now, but like I said, there has been any further development on that. It's just an initial interest from us, but this might please some of you guys that we are now being linked with another defensive midfield player. So what do you think of this story? Leave your comment below, and how much would you pay for Wanyama? And the next story I'm going to talk about is to do with a brand new player that has been linked this week, and it's to do with the Copenhagen left back, Bryan Oviedo. Sorry again for the pronunciation. He is a 22-year-old left back, very talented. To be fair, I haven't seen a lot of him because I haven't got the access to the Danish league, but he has been getting quite good reviews, and when a player is linked with United, he must be kind of like have done something good in order to get this speculation about him. And he is only 22 years old, and he could be a possibility as a cheap backup for Patrice Evra. Like I said, some of you guys we were in for Jordi Alba before he went to Barcelona, but that move kind of like was a dead end really, because Jordi Alba grew up at Barca, so it was there was no ways of tempting him out of that unless he wanted a radical new challenge in his career. And Oviedo, he could be a very good backup for Patrice Evra, like I said, because he is very young, 22 years old, and we probably would get him on the cheap, because playing for Copenhagen, probably not the most lucrative kind of like club in the world, not the biggest either. Big within Denmark, obviously, but like again, when you're been attracted to United, and he said himself this week is very flattering to be linked with United. So I think he would consider a move if we do get in for him. And I think again this is a very good alternative if we do go for him, and if the Leighton Baines deal is stalled. And I think he would be around £10 million mark or less than that. So and the wages wouldn't be a problem in considering that he is what he's earning now at Copenhagen. So in that regard, I think he could be a very good backup for Patrice Evra. But on the other hand, he's not as proven as Leighton Baines within the Premier League, and he might perhaps offer a surprise package. But again, it's a risk that may be worth taking on saving the money on a new left back. So what do you guys think of Oviedo? And would you guys take him over Leighton Baines? Leave your comment below on that story, guys. And the third story I'm going to talk about is to do with Fernando Llorente. I talked about him a few episodes ago, where I talked about him and Javi Martinez in conjunction in a combined deal. But quite an interesting story coming out this week from the Metro, saying that Llorente, we are back in for him, and apparently we have asked and inquired for him early in the summer, I think just before the Euros or something. But Bilbao obviously rejected that idea, and the £35 million asking price from them was obviously a bit too high for his age. He is 27 after all, so he's not a kid, but coming into the peak of a striker's career really. But however, he is entering his final 12 months of his contract, and it doesn't seem that he will be signing a new deal. And Metro has been reporting that in January we will be talking to him about a free transfer in this next summer, because once a player enters the last 6 months of his contract, he is available to talk to any potential suitors. So in that regard, it's a very promising kind of deal, and if we can secure Llorente for nothing and just afford his wage, I think that will be a major kind of deal, and would save a lot of money for a top class and quality striker. He's a full Spanish international, so he has a very good pedigree with his both his club and country, winning the last 3 trophies with Spain and getting to the Europa League last year. And we all witnessed how good he was against us personally. And he is a handful in air, very tall, 6'5", so offers a bit different in terms of his ability and aerial ability to our current strikers. So Llorente, I think he would be a major scoop for free, and I think the contract they're talking about around £140,000 a week. So it's not going to be a bank breaker either. I know it's quite expensive, but if we were going to get him for free, and I think the contract would be no problem, because the potential fee could be used in terms of his contract. So that could be a very interesting stance if we do get Llorente for free. So what do you guys think of the story, and do you guys think that we potentially could get Llorente for free? And yeah, like I said, he could be a great buy if we do get him for free as well next summer. So leave your comment below on that story, guys. And the next story is to do with another player that I talked about a few weeks ago, and it's to do with Robert Lewandowski. As you know, Lewandowski has been linked numerously throughout the summer with United because of the ongoing problems with Berbatov, and it's really apparent that Sir Alex want to add another world-class attacker to his already illustrious lineup. And Lewandowski, he fits into the kind of the United transfer policy mold right now. 23-year-old, very good goal scoring record, and very good mates with Shinji Kagawa, and they last year formed a really exciting and very good partnership up front for Dortmund, and it will be really exciting to see that partnership potentially affecting the Premier League. And Court Offside has been reporting that Lewandowski has, and United has agreed, has a pre-agreement for next season, when after this season he's going to remain at Dortmund for the up-and-coming season. But before the 2013-2014 season, he will complete a £30 million move to United. And I don't know if I strictly believe this story, but it does seem believable just because of the amount of interest we've paid to Lewandowski in the past month or two. And it will be kind of like a good explanation from Alex as to why he is prepared to take the risk on Berbatov, keeping him for another season, knowing that as soon as the next season, well, this coming season is over, Lewandowski will be arriving with Dortmund. So that could explain why, but again, don't take my their words for it, because this seems to be a very kind of like weird agreement, because Dortmund, they rejected our inquiry for Lewandowski earlier in the summer, so it will be weird to see why they would accept it now, and knowing that a deal is in place for next season. So, and because that's kind of strange, because if he has a good season this coming season, then the price will be driven up. So I don't know, it's a bit weird, but it could be believable, like I said, because of the huge kind of like attention spotlight that has been given to him due to this speculation continuing throughout the summer. So could be believable, but I would take this with a kind of pinch of salt until I see the deal being done. So what do you guys think of Lewandowski? No doubt he's a great player, but how much would you guys be willing to pay for him? Leave a comment below, guys. And the last story, it wouldn't be surprised to you guys that I'm talking about Lucas Moura once again. And basically, it has been reported that we are going to make that final bid of £30 million from Lucas. And, this saga has been rumbling on all summer long. I'm getting tired of it. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been tired of it as well. Like I said a few weeks ago, it's a bit complicated because Lucas now, due to his imaging rights, he owned 20% of his imaging rights. So meaning that Sao Paulo, owning only 80% of him, will want a 20% increase on the transfer fee in order to get their full valuation for him. So that in that regard is very complicated, and that's why it's been a main stumbling block for this deal, because Lucas, he has told his agent to keep negotiating, showing that he does have a bit of interest in the deal to United. So again, he does show a bit of interest, but the deal with the imaging rights is just very complicated. I'm sure a lot of you guys are getting fed up with it too. But Sir Alex Ferguson has not flown out to the European leg, or the first game of the European leg anyway, to Norway, because of, air quotes, some other club businesses. So I'll leave that up to you guys as to what you think he's doing, staying back at home for the extra few days. But like I said, this saga is gonna end one way or another. One, it could happen and all of us gonna be ecstatic knowing that a world-class player has come to United, or it's gonna end in, again, disappointment, similarly like last summer, missing out on Snyder and then Nasri. So it could end in both ways. Right now, I think we are obviously very, very interested and serious about our interest as well. But with Lucas, it's a very expensive price tag for a player that's kind of unproven in even in comparison to a player that's very similar in Neymar. But again, Lucas, a lot of you guys seem to like him, and he does seem quite a decent player. But again, the price tag to me seems a bit expensive, but he could be a hit and could be a bargain for that price. But I don't know. Yeah, like I said, Sir Alex staying back for a few days. It might get interesting in the next few days, so I'll report back if anything does develop. But again, the latest seems like we are going to offer that £30 million, and hopefully that will be enough. So what do you guys think of Lucas, and are you getting fed up with this transfer saga like myself? So there you guys have it for another episode of United Transfer Talk. I hope you like this video, guys, and please check out the website ManUnitedDaily.com. You can comment, like the articles, you can post me to your articles, etc. there. So yeah, just give it a try, and if you like this channel, please rate, comment and subscribe as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.